Hello traders, John at StockBookie.com. Today we're looking at the SPY, the IWM, the Qs, the DIA, the IYT, the USO, the UUP, and the GLD. We follow the daily, weekly, monthly time frames, and we use technical analysis here at StockBookie.com. Go to our website, sign up for our free membership for more videos like this, some live streaming, and some other stuff too. All right, let's get right into the daily SPY. And again, you know what? 59 million or 57 million on the day, chopping around. We went right back up into this high trend line. So if you're bullish, you need to get above these trend lines, attack the 232.45 area, and then possible higher prices from there. You know, the volume's just light, guys. So I wouldn't be surprised if we float up. Or the thing that I would look for is a gap up and then possibly a gap and go. They need to get it. They need to gap it above the 230.64, 230.50 area just to get it above and keep it going. So let's see if we consolidate. Again, this is bad bullish consolidation. A little choppy, sloppy, a little pop out, came right back, pop out, and it just keeps going and going and going. So if you're bearish, you need to get below the 20 MA. This trend line is a line in the sand. This thing comes back in, then you got the 50 gap fill right around here, and then the low pivot, and then so on and so forth. But I still think we'll get back into this area here and possibly build a gap around 208.48, but still too early. Trump in there, wild card, light volume, nothing wrong with these markets. But we can wake up one day and this thing starts to tank, so just have that in the back of your mind. IWM, same thing. Light volume, well, not too bad, but this thing was selling off pretty good in the morning. I mean, it was down a percent, a little over a percent or whatever it was. But we're $1.03 on the day. But on the daily chart, still holding the 50 and the 20 MA. Nothing wrong. It did pop back above this trend line. Remember that one? But we have a new one in here connecting this high, these highs in here, and then this little pivot on here on Friday. So let's see if we can stay below here or in between this one or get below the MAs. If you're bullish, you need to get above this trend line. Shoot for these pivots and then ultimately get the 140 and then higher. Like to see a little more volume on that move. Then if you're bearish, you're going to come right back down, fill the gap. And then once you get, you got this down sloping trend line, not the best, not the worst. Let's keep it in here though, because that's what we're kind of bouncing around in between. And then you have the 618, the 750. So right now, nothing wrong with this one. We'll see how it, opens up tomorrow. If it gaps down and, comes back into the lows, or possibly gaps up and maybe shoots, for the highs. So again, light volume markets, guys. Anything's possible. So just keep your eyes open on what's going on here. Again, we went almost into this trend line up in here. We made the high at the 125.92 area. Let's see, again, we got above this trend line here at 125. We're chopping around in a bullish manner. We're above all the MA, so nothing's wrong. So if you're bullish, you need to get above this area, 126.56, 127, then possibly to 130 on the Qs. Possibly. Got to break out first, and then we'll go from there. Just a slow bleed up, basically, at this point. So as long as we're above the moving average, this thing's okay. Again, if you're bullish, you need to get above this area and then keep going, possibly 130, 131, possible overshoot. And if it comes back in, you still got the gap to fill, the 20 MA support. A little gap down here, but ultimately you do have a gap fill down here and a low pivot around 18.21. Will it drop $6-7? That's a possibility, but you have a ton of support coming down here. So even if it started falling, you have a lot of areas where this thing could possibly bounce. So again, nothing wrong. A little bit above the MAs there, 20 MA. Nothing wrong with the Qs, guys. The DIA. On the daily, again, we're above the 20, the 50, and the 200 MA. It's consolidating sideways for, gosh, a month and a half or so. Yeah, 2 months, actually. Almost 2 months. So it's been going sideways. We got back above. We're going, consolidating above these high pivots here. Let's see if we can stay there and attack the all-time high, the 200, what is it, 297. And then maybe this one gets to 203 to 205, maybe, if it finally pops out of this range on this bullish pattern. But if it doesn't, then if you're bearish, you're looking at gap filled, 50 MA. You still have some good pivots down in here, this pivot around there, the 50 MA. So you have great support still. But if this thing happens to just kind of zip through this area, then you got to look down in here. You got a gap fill, and then ultimately the 200 MA around the 185 area, which is a $15 drop. Nothing crazy, but it'd be a good just a good pullback for possibly to buy and go up on higher prices. But we'll watch for pattern to see if anything else is going on at the time if it ever pulls back. The IYT again, down 11 cents. Nothing really wrong. It had a great 5-day pullback. You'd expect the bounce and maybe a little follow through. We never got follow through. It did close below 11 cents. The gap fills. So let's see if this thing can stay above the moving averages, or does it gap down and come right back in. We're going to have to see on that. But nice retrace double top, pulls back, kind of goes back up and fills this, almost fills that gap there. Now, does the pattern bring us down? A little zigzag pattern here. Have to keep an eye on that. And again, we're above the MA, so really, really nothing wrong with this one. Let's look at the USO. USO down 16 cents. Again, we're above the moving averages. It barely held on here on the daily, though. Still above this trend line. I'm going to draw it a little bit further here now. Still above the trend line. Still have the 200 MA right here. So nothing wrong. We stayed above, for a couple days. Everyone got excited. Came back up here, filled the gap. Well, yeah, no, we did make it almost to the 618 here. Barely, but we almost made it to this little high pivot. I would have loved to seen the gap filled around 1169, but who knows? Maybe this is a time where we hit the moving averages and it bounces up like this. So right now, everything's a little bit disconnected here. So, a strong stance above the MAs. Let's see what happens tomorrow. But 16 cents on the USO. Not a good day for this one. Let's see the UUP now. UUP was barely up today, but oil was coming in. So this is, like I said, this was disconnected here. We are holding this area here. We did close. We closed right on top of it. Never confirmed below. Popped it back up. Did we close? Man, we closed almost right on top of it again. 80. Oh my gosh, I think we did. So right now, nothing wrong with the dollar, just a pullback here. Now do we start moving up again? Lower areas to fill the gap. You have this trend line here. If it does come into this area, and you have the gap fill right at the 25.59 area. So if it comes here, you still have great support, and then you have the 200 MA, which is right here as well. So and the 618 too. So and another gap fill. So there's a trend line. So let's see if we do form a bearish pattern. We come back down in here. Then I think, if you want to get interested in the dollar long, maybe right in this area, some good support. But it'll be a quick bounce. Or, this is the point where the dollar can start ripping and go up. So 2 cents up on the day. No great shakes. Now let's go to the gold. Gold's working out well, guys. We were adding around 115, 112.50, and then 108. Right now we're in the money and heading for the area what we were talking about, the 120, 122. Hopefully we can get up in here, but we're going to hit some turbulence right around the 121, 122 area, so watch for that. But nice little breakout from this slightly, choppy, sloppy, bearish or bullish pattern above the 20 and the 50. And notice how it starts to move up as it stays above. But again, we had a pretty good move from here to here, a couple bucks. Let's see if we get a couple more dollars in here. Then I would say I'd probably take half off, let it pull back, and if I could gain 2, 3, 4 bucks on the position, I'll pull it back and buy it again down here in gap fill. But right now, nothing wrong with gold, guys. Great day on the $1.57 on a day, or 1.35%. So I can let's just hold tight here. Let's see what happens. Again, I don't want to get too greedy, but so far we're looking at the 618 here and these pivots. So we closed above that pivot too. And we'll see if we go for the 200 MA. Remember, a lot of stuff's been overshoot, so hopefully we overshoot to the 124, 125 area. We get to this high pivot here around 124.41. So, all right, guys. So that's it for tonight. Thanks again for watching my videos. Go to StockTwits, go to Twitter. Also subscribe on YouTube, and then go to my website, sign up for the free membership, and you'll get everything there. But it'd be great if you subscribed everywhere. And, I do a lot of intraday stuff on StockTwits and stuff like that. So, all right, guys, let's see here. I'm hoping to do some live stuff this week. I've been really, really busy, but it looks like I should have Thursday, Friday freed up possibly. So hopefully we can do some stuff then. I'll send out the emails if you join my website, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, thanks again for watching my videos. I really do appreciate it. God bless. See you on the charts.